guys, it's Morgan. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. If you're not, welcome back. Today we are going to be starting our series of testing out setting powders. So I have a couple of different price ranges and types of setting powder. I have Coty Airspun, which is about $5, almost $6. e.l.f., which is $6. NYX HD powder, which is $10. And then taking a huge jump to the Laura Mercier, which is $39. So very, very big jumps in price ranges there. But I figured it would be really interesting to sit down, test out all different ones. I'm going to be doing the original video, which is me applying it, and then we'll be popping back in throughout the day and showing you how it's settling and how it wears throughout the day. I think for today we're going to start out with Coty Airspun since it's the cheapest. Might as well start at the cheapest and work our way up to the other powders. And to give this an honest review, I'm going to record this time at the beginning how I'm going to be doing my base every single day. So I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to change any of the products. I'm not going to be testing any other products out that belong on my base with this powder. Everybody knows Coty Airspun. It's a lot of people's tried and true. I've been using it for about a year off and on, and I really like it, but for me personally, I like it more for my special effects makeup, body paint, cream paints, things like that I have to set, not necessarily for just under my eyes or brightening and things of that nature. So for today, let's test out Coty Airspun. First things first, I'm going to be going in with some Tatcha water cream for my moisturizer. I just bought this yesterday and I felt like I was opening up a Christmas present. I don't think I had been that excited to use a product and I don't even know how long. The packaging is beautiful, everything about it, it feels high end. And if you're wondering, it is high end. So this product retails for $68. Which is a lot, and I know it is a lot. So I'm not telling you need to go out there and buy it, but I am trying it out. It's supposed to have anti-aging benefits, things of that nature that I feel like I need now. I'm 25 with 3 kids, have a very stressful job. Okay, reading it online. This oil-free anti-aging water cream releases a burst of skin-improving Japanese nutrients, powerful botanicals, and optimal hydration for pure, poreless skin. Now they do have an option now that I'm seeing for a travel size, which is, this is 50 milliliters and it's a 10 milliliter and that's $20. So if you wanted to try it out, that would be a really good alternative before investing that much money into a moisturizer. Now on the directions it says to use a little gold spatula and put a pea-size amount on, and so I am going to do just that, putting it all over my face. The first thing I noticed about this is, besides the packaging being so beautiful, it's heavy, it just has that high-end feeling to it, the smell. The smell is awesome. It's not too heavy, it's not too perfumey or anything like that. It just smells really good, and I like that. I'm very sensitive to smells, so if something smells too strong for too long, it'll give me a headache. And I love how fresh and clean the water cream feels. It's been 2 days since I've been using this, and I don't look any younger. It does feel very nice. It feels how I would want it to feel spending that amount of money. I just don't know if the properties or what it says it's supposed to do is gonna work. So that's why I'm reviewing it, so that you don't have to. After the moisturizer, I'm going to be taking Limelife Perfect Sunscreen, just a squirt of that, and then the e.l.f. Mint Melt Primer, just a couple of squeezes, and then I always mix them together. I don't know if that ruins the properties of both, but I just like the way that it feels. The Mint Melt is probably one of my favorite products that I've been using, like, of the new products. It really helps. It works. And another thing that I should mention is the Limelife Sunscreen. It does have priming properties, so it also helps blur pores and even out your skin tone while giving you 30 SPF underneath your makeup. Now to get into foundation. I gotta pin my hair back really quick. I just use these really cheap little flat clips. I think I got them from Walmart, but I just washed and curled my hair, so I don't want to leave any creases. That's why I really like these flat clips. For foundation today, I am going to use my Limelife by Alcone Perfect Foundation. It is my tried and true. I haven't found anything like it. I can get minimal coverage to really, really full coverage with just this foundation. It retails for $36 and it's just a really, really great foundation. It's wax based, so I really enjoy using it. I've been using it for about 3 years straight now, and that's why doing these setting powder reviews, I really wanted to use something that I know how it's supposed to look or how it creases on my skin. So that's why I decided to go in with it today. So that's just the foundation all complete onto my skin. I just put it on with a blender full, nothing special. And next I'm going to take my flat concealer brush and dip into Limelife's concealer. Again, I wanted to make sure that these reviews were gonna be honest and I wasn't testing out any new products. So I have been testing out different concealers, but I know how this works with my skin. So I wanted to give it the best honest review that I could. It is also wax-based and it is water resistant. So it makes me wonder how it's gonna work with the water cream. Next, I'm just gonna blend it right out with that same beauty blender. And then I'm gonna go in with another Limelife concealer, which is in shade 6, which is a deeper tone, but I use it for my contour shade. I know I had a lot of people asking me to do a video on contouring for mature skin, contouring just in general, so that video will be coming shortly. I don't do anything special, but if I can give you a couple tips and tricks, I will. And then I take it very lightly down the bridge of my nose. I do not have a cute little button nose by any means. Okay, that's my base all blended out. Now it's time to add the setting powder. I always try and make sure that I tap out any creasing that I've started to have before adding my powder. First things first, if you haven't used Coty Airspun yet, very, very strong smell. It smells like baby powder, but times 1,000. It is very strong. I've used this again a million times. I have it in the shade Naturally Neutral, so I don't use the translucent shade very often, but I'm gonna take it on my little beauty blender puff, and I'm just going to start to add that right under my eye. Now, this setting powder is thick. It's not as finely milled as some others, which it works for them, I guess. I just wish they would get that smell to go away. And if you don't know, or if you're anywhere in the beauty community, you watch YouTube, anything like that, Coty Airspun is not known for being a good powder before being photographed. So James Charles, number one, easiest way to explain it, it gives you flashback if you use way too much of it, which I do use a lot of setting powder, especially under my eyes, because I don't like when my makeup creases. Well, let me rephrase that. My makeup always creases under my eyes. I've never found a setting powder that doesn't make it crease. I have crow's feet and I have deeper and darker bags under my eyes. It's not that I'm expecting any of these setting powders to not crease, because I know how my face is. But sometimes it will start to bunch up. It will get, if you don't set it, it just looks crazy. But I'm just going around in all of the areas that I put my highlight contour, not into my cheekbones or anything like that. I'll set that with a different powder. And then I always add a tiny little bit more onto the tip of my nose, dust it off as needed, but it just helps brighten to give that button effect like I talked about earlier. So that is setting powder on. I am letting it bake just a tiny bit. That's another thing to keep in mind. You can't use too much of this product. So some other brands, I can just pack it on there and it's not gonna make it look cakey or anything like that. But with this powder, again, with the photos and just thinking ahead, it's going to give me a lot of flashback if I put too much on. I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows, which is what I always do while I'm letting my face bake, and then I'll come back and we'll powder the rest of our face. Okay, brows are on and I've carved them out a tiny bit. Now I'm gonna go in with some Limelife colored press powder and a tiny bit of translucent powder and just go ahead and set the rest of my face, and making sure I dust off underneath my eyes to get any of that setting powder that didn't bake in or melt in, I should say. Okay, now that my face is set, before I go in with bronzer or anything of that nature, I am gonna do a quick little look. My skin looks even. It hasn't really bunched up too much. The one thing that I do notice right off the bat is how light my face looks, which I'm not 100% sure is just from the setting powder, but it is very light, very washed out. And of course I haven't added bronzer or anything like that, but I did contour, which if I turn, you can still see my contour. Just, it does leave a little bit of a white cast, I should say. And I am noticing right around here, kind of where the majority of my bag starts under my eye, it does look like it's kind of peeling apart a little bit. So I'll have to watch that part closely. Now I'm gonna go and do the rest of my makeup, nothing crazy, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is my makeup look all complete with the new setting powder. It's been about 45 minutes since I put it on, so I've been watching it, obviously. As of right now, it looks good. It looks good in person, it looks good up close. The separation here, since my makeup has started to kind of melt together, put some setting spray on, it has actually started to blend back together. But I will be back in a couple hours to show you an update, and then probably a couple hours later, and then right before bed, to show you up close and personal of how it's all setting underneath my eyes and around my mouth. So stay tuned. Okay, first check-in. It's been about 4 hours since I put the setting powder on. When I said we're getting up close and personal, we're getting up close and personal. There is quite a bit of build up, and like it has really settled into my wrinkles underneath my eyes. My smile lines aren't too bad. There's a tiny bit on the sides, but not bad, and it actually isn't bunching up around my nose, so I like that a lot. Again, it's only been about 4 hours since I originally put it on. It's not too bad in the wrinkles in my forehead, so I'm liking it somewhat. It definitely is hard to work with, I should say. Here's for check-in number 1. Not too bad. Also, I should say that I'm not doing anything today. I'm not going out, I'm not running, I'm not doing anything. So my makeup should stay intact pretty well. And I mean, it has for that. I've been sitting on the couch since I did my makeup. So yeah, check-in 1, it's okay. Next check-in, it is about 7 o'clock my time, so it's been a solid 8 hours since I put on the setting powder. As you can see, let's get it in there. It has spread a lot. It's getting really splotchy right here. It's bunching up and making like my chin almost like discolored in a weird way. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me get into better light. So it's bunching up really bad, kind of in the areas that I put it. The middle of my forehead still looks really good, so that's nice, but underneath my eyes, my chin, and that's about it. Around my nose actually isn't bad. So 7 hours is a pretty good time, I would say. It's just under my eyes and my chin that's not looking good anymore. Hey guys, welcome to day 2 of testing out setting powders. Today we are going to be doing e.l.f. HD powder. I've used this a couple of times, so I know that I do actually kind of like it. It doesn't wear as well for long periods of time, which I already know, but I do want to go in and give it an honest review. My base is done exactly the same as I did yesterday, all the same products, all the same steps. I am going to go in first things first about this powder. It is very finely milled. And I mean, when I'm talking finely milled, I'm talking you put a little bit in the pan, it disperses everywhere. You're gonna be able to see. Most of the time when I put this on, I'm gonna use the same thing that I did yesterday. It will like puff away. So it makes like a little cloud of smoke. It is so fine, and it's a little bit harder to build up to give the baking effect, which I can't really tell if it makes a difference or not. So I'm gonna put kind of the same amount that I did yesterday with the Coty Airspun, even though that was a thicker consistency. I'm gonna try and match it the same amount. So I put a little bit on my sponge right here, and I'm gonna just dab it in. It is very light. It feels like nothing, you're not putting anything on your face. The moment that you put Coty Airspun on, you feel it. You feel it starting to kind of cake and whatnot. It really dries out your skin. This is a lot lighter, which I like. I'm not too mad about that. but it is just a very, very finely milled. So it goes up your nose and in all the places that I'm not quite sure that you want it to go, but we shall see. I'm trying to dust off some of it. I'm talking very fine, so it's just everywhere right now. But I put it in all the places that I put my Coty Airspun, in all of my brightening areas. It does leave a tiny bit of a white cast. This is their translucent. So it says it's their shade sheer. Try to say that 3 times fast, Jesus. It does still leave that white cast, which doesn't really bother me that much since I do go in with colored pressed powder kind of over it, and that's what I use to wipe it off. But I'm gonna go do my brows, do the rest of my makeup really quick, and I will be back. First thing that I'm noticing is it is splitting up a tiny bit, and it's bunching up in this area right here and right here, kind of in the corners, but I can't tell if it's like lifting the makeup or anything. But it is very soft and very lightweight, so I like that a lot. And I put it in the same spots, my smile lines, places that I crease the most, and on my forehead. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back and my makeup is complete. I did more of a natural look today with a full base, obviously. Using the e.l.f. HD powder, I'm loving the way that it's looking right now. My under eyes look very soft. The center of my forehead looks soft. I am noticing that I'm already getting creases, which with the powder yesterday with Coty Airspun, I did not get. Now, I don't have as much of a white cast as I did with Coty Airspun though. So those are 2 different things. I'm kind of trading out one thing for another that are both downfalls in the grand scheme of things. But overall, I feel like this is a pretty good powder. It's only $6, so can you really beat that, you know? And I love how light it is. It is settling, so that's one thing. I'm interested to see how it's gonna look in my check-ins. I will say yesterday with the Coty Airspun, I did not do my end of night check-in. I got really into the Night Stalker documentary, and by the time I went to bed, it was almost midnight, which is late for me. Well, it's not really late for me. I work nights, but it's late when I'm home, like spending time with my family and my kids. So I did not do an end of night check-in, but I will try to do one tonight, regardless of how late it is. Now, with that, I am gonna add on to the Coty Airspun review that last night it separated completely on my chin. You remember my check-in around 8 o'clock. Or 7 o'clock, it was very, very getting splotchy in my chin area, which is a very weird spot for it to get splotchy. So I'm not sure what happened there. My under eyes were splotchy. Where my bag is, there was almost no more foundation on. Like, it's almost like where I put that powder took off some of my foundation. And then around my nose looked fine and my forehead looked okay, but under my eyes and my chin did not last to that time, which again, that was about a 12-hour gap since I applied my makeup and I went to bed. So is that necessarily bad? No, but it is something to note since this is a review of the powders. I did want to mention that. I will see you guys in a couple of hours. For you, it's going to be approximately 2 seconds, but let's see how the e.l.f. HD powder wears. Hey guys, it's been about 3 hours since I put on my powder and I wanted to do a little check-in. I've been sitting here doing taxes, all of that boring stuff, so I figured why not, might as well just finish with that. Sitting right here, we get some good lighting this time. We're gonna move on. So I'm gonna do a little, keep you guys far away for a second, turn on my light on this. Already I'm getting some pretty good amount of separation right here on my smile lines, pretty bad underneath my eyes, and for some reason when I put my highlighter on top of the powder, it is like really splotchy, which is not normal. I've been using the same highlight, the Kim K or KKW Beauty highlight, so that is not normal. My forehead looks okay, but it is separating pretty bad up here and mostly just under my eyes. My chin again is starting to get splotchy. So I don't know how I'm feeling about this. Now comparing the two from yesterday and today, I'm gonna bring you guys in a little close. So let's see, I don't know if you can tell, but it definitely is starting to to get a little weird right here. It's completely settled into my lines on underneath both my eyes. My highlight is looking kind of weird, and my chin. Hopefully you guys can pick up on it. My smile lines. One thing about smile lines is that I can kind of blend them out easier, but even around my nose right here, yesterday was doing really well. It lasted all day, but right now I can already see almost like my skin just gets extra oily right here, and so it starts to fade off and kind of show redness again and things like that. So I am noticing that already. It's only been 3 hours. The weird thing is I've been using this e.l.f. powder and I was like, wow, this is doing great things. So the only thing that I've changed from the first day that I tried it was the Tatcha water cream. I don't think that's what's causing it, because yesterday it was doing pretty good up until the 7-8 hour mark. It's just not sitting very well right now. So yeah, that's update number 1. I'll try and come back in the next couple hours and then right before bed again. Hopefully I remember. Well, I didn't forget yesterday, but it is what it is. But I will be back for another update. All right, y'all, check in for the e.l.f. powder. It has completely split up on my face. Let me just start there. I have really bad redness around my nose. Underneath my eyes look worse than they normally do, and on my chin also. My forehead still has a tiny bit of coverage right here, but it's pretty much just wiped off the rest of my face. So has not held up as good as the Coty Airspun. I'm just gonna get that out of the way right off the bat. Honestly, there's no even reason to do one right before bed. It is about 9 o'clock here, so I'm not seeing it. It's not gonna get any better from this point to when I go to bed, unfortunately, which I'm really upset because I love so many of e.l.f.'s products. So this was surprising, doing it, an actual wear test and actually wearing it throughout the day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, welcome back to day 3 of my setting powder video. Today we are testing out the NYX Studio Photogenic HD powder. I'm super excited. Don't also, clearly I just figured we weren't going to talk about my eye look. I'm doing another video within this video. This is kind of within that video, yeah. Today is day 3, so I'm gonna be using this setting powder, and I wanted to hop on and do my first impressions of the powder. Smell. Okay, well, we're gonna start with smell. It smells like nail polish remover. Super finely milled, just like the e.l.f. one. The consistency is like crazy soft, so that's nice. I'm gonna dip my sponge in. Oh, let me use my other sponge. Consistency. Consistency is key. I'm gonna use this sponge and just pounce it in there. Got some product on there, and I'm just gonna pat it down. Very fine. It is going everywhere, if you couldn't tell. Sorry, I've been having issues with my camera, so I'm looking. I don't know why I just apologized for that, but that's why I'm looking behind, because I'm looking at my phone in a mirror. Okay, very, very fine. That it hurts because I'm breathing it in. Look at this. I can already tell it's gonna leave a white film again. This is their translucent. I understand, because it technically is a white powder, that sometimes it can leave a white residue, but I hate that they call it translucent then, because it doesn't ever, it's not translucent. It affects the way that my makeup looks. So that would, to me, say that it's not translucent. So I was gonna say that it's almost just as, it's as fine as the e.l.f. one, but it is way finer. Hurts to breathe it in. I really wouldn't recommend that, just in general. But it's soft. It has sucked every ounce of moisture out of my face. It hurts to kind of move my face. I don't know why it's doing that, but it is, and I don't like that whatsoever. I need to dust some of it off. The smell also, I didn't ever think that I would say these words. I prefer the baby powder Coty Airspun smell to this, because that's rough. All right, let's wipe off this powder. It's only been a couple minutes, but oh, I need to get it off my face. My skin is so dry. Oh. I use a little brush because it seems like it's like stuck right here. Oh my gosh. So I don't know if you can tell, but holy crap, is my face white. More white than usual. And it is so dry, you guys. I mean, it got on my lips, everything. It is so dry. Water. Please tell me that you guys watch SpongeBob. That's how I feel. I need water and I need to dunk my face into it. Like if I could jump in a pool right now, I would. That's how I feel. Okay, up close, it's kind of looking the way that it feels underneath my eyes. It is almost scaly, I guess I should say. Like it looks like I have little scales. I'm hoping that when I put some setting spray on it, it stops. Yeah, the side of my nose is almost like a flaky, which I don't normally have. Right here, I have more oily skin than I do dry skin. Not loving that. I guess we shall see. Today's updates are going to be very interesting. Very interesting. See you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, it's been about 7 hours actually since I took my original video for the setting powder. I'm just gonna hop right into it. My skin feels so dry. Unbelievably dry. Like I feel like it looks okay from a distance, but even like everything, it's like I have no moisture in my face whatsoever. Underneath my eyes are like scaly. Can you guys see that? I mean, hands down, I do not like this one. I thought yesterday was probably gonna be the worst with the e.l.f., but e.l.f. was good up until kind of end of the night time. This has been hard to keep on all day, and that's saying something. So, which I've used it, maybe I just used a little too much today, or I'm not sure, but it's a lot. So here's my check-in for today. I'm not gonna keep this on very much longer. 7 hours is good for me. It's really pulling right here. My chin looks okay, but around my nose, my forehead looks okay, and then right here is bad underneath my eyes. Just uncomfortable, which is weird. So yeah, that's my only check-in I'm going to be doing with the NYX setting powder. So next one is going to be my high-end brand. So we shall see. Hey guys, welcome to day 4. This video has felt never ending on my part. For you, it's probably been about 20 minutes, but today's the day to try some Laura Mercier. I finally figured out how to say it properly. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos and some reviews on it because I didn't know how to properly pronounce it. But I got my base on, same as usual, all of my same products I've been using. So now it's time. I put a little bit in my cap here. It does have a smell, but I don't think anything will be as bad as yesterday, which I'm shocked that I prefer the Coty Airspun smell to the NYX. NYX smelled like nail polish remover. So that was interesting. I'm gonna kind of start a little bit on my little puffer thingy. I always forget what this thing is called. And just place it on like usual. It is a little bit thicker of a consistency. It kind of reminds me more of the Coty Airspun, where I don't want to say it's thick, but it is. Like, it's just not as finely milled, I guess, as the last two. I'm not sure. The last two were both HD, quote unquote. They both claim to be high definition or whatever that's supposed to mean. And these two do not. So maybe that's why it was so finely milled. I have this also in the shade Translucent. So theirs does have a tiny bit of color to it though. It's not just perfectly white like the other two. I think Coty Airspun was the only one I did not have in Translucent. So I'm just doing my normal thing while I'm applying it. First things first that I noticed, it was not like yesterday where it instantly feels like my face is dry. Also, I can breathe, so that's nice. I don't know what the issue was happening yesterday, but that sucked. So I just wanted to record my first time trying it, and this actually is my first time, so that's exciting. I've been using different ones the last couple days, obviously, so I didn't want to try it without a real test first. So here's it all applied. I'm gonna powder my face, finish my makeup, and then I'll see you guys at check-ins. Hey guys, it's time for check-in number 1. It's been about 3 hours since I put on my setting powder, and I just wanted to hop in really quick and give a quick little update. As of now, it's looking really smooth still. My skin looks really smooth. It hasn't gotten overly dry. It kind of melted together very nicely with my setting spray. My forehead looks very smooth. In person even, it looks really nice. Under my eyes, it has started to settle into my fine lines, but again, that is very normal for my skin, so I don't think it's just a setting powder. My chin looks really good around my nose. Everything just looks really smooth and soft where I applied that setting powder, so that's a thumbs up. I'm gonna try and keep my final thoughts to the very end of the video. I will say that today is gonna be a little bit different because I do work tonight. So I work my full-time job, I work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I won't be able to do late night check-ins tonight, but I put my makeup on a little bit earlier this morning so that before I kind of take this all off, before I go in, I'll be able to do a last check-in. But as of right now, I love how this is held up. I mean, I liked at this point in time, the last couple days, I felt like most of them were doing really good. So I'm really interested to see how they're gonna compare. So we shall see, and I'll see you at the next check-in. Welcome back, guys. Don't mind my no makeup face. I'm just editing videos today and taking a little bit of a break from makeup. But I wanted to finish up our setting powder review. So I'm gonna start by least favorite to favorite. I think everybody, if you just watched the last 20-30ish minutes of video, you know what my least favorite is. So coming in at 4th place, worst setting powder, was the Nyx. Hands down. This stuff made my face so dry. It made my skin look patchy. I don't know if I have too many good things to say about it. This could be really good setting powder for somebody who has severely oily skin, who's using blotting papers during the day, things like that. For me, I have oily skin, but this just sucked the life out of my skin. So I'm gonna have to rank it as worst. It was uncomfortable to wear a majority of the day. Obviously, I didn't even do a last day check-in because I needed to take it off. After that big gap that I had, it came off. 3rd is going to be the e.l.f. HD powder. It just didn't hold together as well as I've had it, I guess, so I'm not sure. I'm gonna continue to try this one out. It doesn't really have a scent. It's soft, which I like. It did kind of bunch up in weird places, things like that, but it wasn't too bad. So I'm going to continue to try this one out. I would recommend it just because of the price, but other than that, it's not the best setting powder, that's for sure, but it is okay. Coming in at number 2, Coty Airspun, which I thought that I was going to give this the worst review, I'm going to be honest with you. But I loved this. Like, yeah, towards the end of the day, it did start to bunch up. It does leave a white cast. It's not the best if you use too much in pictures, things like that. But I mean, you can rely on it. Your makeup is going to be set for a majority of your day, which I really like. I don't like the smell, but again, Nyx smell horrible compared to this. I would rather smell like a baby powder than nail polish remover on my face. But honestly, it is really, really good price-wise. This is the cheapest one, coming in about a little less than $6. So that I would really recommend if you're on a budget. Coty Airspun is where it's at. And for my favorite, which I'm surprised, I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was, which I guess I shouldn't have thought that considering how good of reviews it has, is going to be the Mercier. It was a great setting powder. My makeup still looked good even before I went to work and had to take it off. It was soft, not too heavy. Even though its consistency was equivalent to the Coty Airspun, this didn't feel cakey or heavy on my skin, which I love that. It made my makeup look really good. I even did wear it at night while I was at work once I redid my makeup and made it less glam. I put it on and it looked really, really good. So I'm really surprised by this. This is a good one. So unfortunately, I didn't get through all the days, as many check-ins as I wanted to. I didn't have any like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, like breakthroughs on any of them. And I only had one that I hated. I'm gonna just say it, I hated the NYX. But other than that, I think it was a pretty good go. These are gonna be my top two. $39, $5. So you decide what you want to use. Either one works great. This one just is a little bit smoother and a little less cakey. So, I mean, it's up to y'all ultimately, but this was a really fun experiment to try. So let me know if you have any other products where you want to see like drugstore to higher end, and we can definitely make that happen. But it was a really, really good experience, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't already, definitely like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a video. I have a get ready with me that I'm going to be editing soon, and a bunch more tutorials are coming out. So definitely come along for the journey. It's been great so far, and I can't wait to see where it goes. But I will see you guys next week. Bye.